Hello, welcome to the Lore Boys, the history's number one fake history podcast. I'm your host, Ethan Palmer. Joining me as always is Peter and Jamie. Say hi, Peter and Jamie.
Hello.
And Jamie,
Hello.
go ahead. Oh shit, Jamie, you're here. No Jamie this week. He's partying with Dave Attell, is my understanding.
Yes, seems very cool. He was
doing-
off in New York City finding tall buildings to choke himself in.
Doing bumps of cocaine off Dave Attell's dick. We're all jealous here at the Lore Boys HQ.
Cool.
We miss you, Jamie.
Okay.
Don't forget the OG comedian whose dick you did cocaine off of. Me, Ethan Palmer. I want to give a shout out to our patron of the week before we begin. T3 Key 1313. You rule. Thanks so much for supporting the show. There is a link in the description below to our Patreon for anyone who wants to keep the lights on here at Lore Boys HQ. You want to keep this glint off my rapidly receding hairline for the video watchers on YouTube. You got to pay to keep the lights on, baby.
Yeah, my hair just looks greasy right now because I kind of napped a bit while we were waiting to get recording today. Maybe I fell asleep a little bit there after work. Which, holy shit, was 2 hours ago already. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I know. We're recording real late tonight, so apologies if we seem eepy. It's just the way that it is sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I also had an immediate allergic reaction to my office today. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I woke up
because you
feeling
said
completely
finishing
fine.
the day from home. I was like, does he not work from? Was he not working from home? Like, I was.
No, I mean, I go in the mornings. We had a meeting with like my boss's boss. He was in Montreal. But like I was completely fine this morning. I went for a nice long walk. I did my cardio outside because it was a little nippy, very sunny, very pretty today. Everything's fine. Get to the office, walk into the conference room. Immediate congestion that like mostly has gone away at this point. It's kind of a little crusty, but I was like, well, I'm allergic to work. I need a doctor's note. I can't come in. Sorry.
Okay, so last episode we talked about the Jedi Order, not Jedi Order. The Jedi is these wizard monks who lived in the deep core, who eventually do give rise to the Jedi Order.
Yes.
At the end of the episode, we talked about a species called the Rakata and the Infinite Empire. And I specifically said, I'm going to gloss over it because it's a topic for a future episode. That's this episode, right?
Here we are.
I will give the same disclaimer that I gave last time, which is we're not Star Wars guys. We're noobs, as it were, when it comes to Star Wars lore. So please bear with me if I get anything wrong. A lot of awesome discussion. Really... Magnus, Saucy, everyone who was talking about the episode after it came out in the Discord. Like, I don't think I've ever done an episode that spawned so much discourse about the lore after we were done it. Shout out to you guys. You guys are the motivation for me doing more Star Wars episodes. I thought that was extremely cool. I thought
the same thing. I was like, damn. It's like, oh, Pete kept asking you questions that nobody knew the answers to. I'm like, yeah, I was curious. But it was to spark discussion too.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed seeing the post-release talk as well over on Discord.
And I'm sorry I had to be the one to tell you all that Ahsoka was a Twi'lek. I'm sorry that you were all mistaken and thought she was a Tortuga. Tortuga is a city of pirates located in the Caribbean. That's not Ahsoka, the Jedi. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to talk about the Rakata and the Infinite Empire. So one other thing that came up in the Discord, and something that I give no guarantees because I did a minimal amount of fact checking around this, is there are two continuities. There's the canon continuity and there's the Legends continuity. As I understand it, I thought everything we talked about last episode was canon continuity. I think people were saying that a lot of it was Legends continuity. I'm pretty sure this one is all Legends continuity because so I've watched all the movies we said on the last episode. I also played the original KOTOR, which is apparently Legends continuity. Cool. And basically all of this lore comes from KOTOR. So not all of this lore. I shouldn't say that. There are some comics as well. So this lore, the Infinite Empire, comes from the old expanded universe, which is now non-canon. It's this alternate canon. Main sources are KOTOR 1 and 2, Knights of the Old Republic, developed by
BioWare and Obsidian.
Titans of Industry in their heyday. Yes. And the Dark Horse comic series Dawn of the Jedi, which was also a lot of the last episode. So I think people were in the Discord were probably right about Star Wars over me, which is not surprising, right? And of course, shout out Wikipedia. It's still extremely cool to research a topic that every time I like click a link, because like as often happens when we use like fandom or something to like research these episodes, and like we try and use primary sources and things like that when we can. But our tagline is literally, "We'll read a wiki to you," or it was for a long time at least. Shout out to the Wikipedia, because there's so many fandoms that you'll be reading about an interesting thing, and it'll say like, and Jim Bob's or Corey's Cold Nuts, and then you'll click Cold Nuts, and it will take you to a stub article which just has nothing about this. Like, it is so hard to find stubs on Wikipedia. Like, everything is like pages and pages and pages of content, which is just extremely cool. Obviously,
very
it's very
helpful.
I'll say, if I get stuff wrong, fuck you, I think is what I'm saying here. Okay,
that should be our new one. I know we at first it was like, "We will read a wiki page to you," with good motto.
Now it's Internet's number one fake history podcast. Yeah, I think probably our new
fuck
motto.
You is our next one.
Yeah, if we get something wrong, fuck you is our new tagline. Kind of like it, honestly.
We're coming up on 9 years. I think it'll be 9 years when this episode comes out, because I think it's May 28th according to my calendar.
Oh, May the 28th. I was looking at it
today. Yeah. The next decade of Lore Boys, it's fuck you. No.
May the 28th, go fuck yourself. So our story on the Rakata and the Infinite Empire will begin not with the Rakata, but with the Kwa, which, let me tell you, as a French speaker, just seeing Kwa all over the place, I'm like, what?
Yeah. What? Cheese? What's going on here? Because the ricotta as well?
Yeah. So I sent you a picture of what the ricotta look like, okay? Or sorry, what the Kwa look like. The Kwa were a force-sensitive reptilian species from the planet Dathomir. They developed a technology called the Infinity Gate. It's this network of portals that allowed instantaneous travel between points across the galaxy. If you listen to the previous episode, you'll remember that an Infinity Gate was mentioned as being buried at the bottom of the Chasm of Insanity, beneath the Jedi Temple on Titan, right? So we're going to start talking about the people who built that gate specifically.
Dathomir is a familiar word in my brain. I'm pretty sure that is in one of the Jedi Fallen blank games, either Fallen Order or what was the other one? The Jedi Souls likes.
Yeah, I don't remember what the other.
They're both very good.
Fallen Jedi, Fallen Jedi.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever, Jedi, go fuck yourself.
Fuck you.
So, yeah, I mean, the Kwa are really important, I think, in both continuities. Like, so the last episode we talked about with, like, the Foundation, like, when the Jedi migrations, the first migration to Titan happened, was about 35,000 BBY before the Battle of Yavin. We're looking at, like, 100,000 BBY plus. We're looking at you thought 35,000 BBY was Ancient Aliens. Now this is Ancient Aliens, okay?
Okay. Pulling a Halo. There's layers and layers and layers of Ancient Aliens.
Exactly, yeah. So these Infinity Gates that the Kwa developed would be used by the Kwa to go big English. They would set to work, colonizing the galaxy, right? Number one priority with a bullet. Gotta colonize. We can travel anywhere. Let's colonize, right? It's just the natural way.
The expression "going big English."
I don't know what else you could call it, truly. But,
true, yeah.
So the Infinity Gates use what the Kwa called the power of the cosmos. We call it the Force, right?
Okay.
This is not going to be the Force episode. I'm not going to talk about space bugs in your blood.
Okay.
Crunch at us in the comments if you want the Force episode. I'll do it someday. And the Kwa built these Infinity Gates within Great Pyramids known as Star Temples. So here's a picture of a man standing in front of a star temple.
Cool. Now, are these the top halves of the pyramid ships that we were talking about last time, or no?
So I really thought so when I started researching this. I couldn't find anything, but you could be very confident that the pyramid ships, which I'm blanking on, Thoyors, I believe were created by the Kwa. So it was their machinations at the very least. These star temples are not them, but I couldn't find it anyway. But could be. Crunch at us. So eventually, the colonization project, as it were, would take them to a little planet known as Lahan, which was home to a group of funky little fish called the Rakata. I can send you a picture of a funky fish called the Rakata in a second here. So the Rakata, also referred to as the Builders, were an ancient amphibious humanoid species native to the planet Lahan. located deep in a remote and largely unmapped stretch of the galaxy known as the unknown region. So I don't know if you recall, Peter, I didn't pull up the galaxy map picture again, but it was like a ton of planets, and then the whole left side west quadrant of the map was basically blank. It's like unknown regions. A lot of the Qua Empire and this Infinite Empire takes place in that like uncharted region of space, basically.
Okay, yes. You didn't need to repost it because we do still have it here. Yeah, I do see how about like 30-ish% of the galaxy is unmapped, I guess, like on that side there, on the left side of it. I also really like the way this thing looks.
He's
How it is
funky,
very
right?
clearly, it is a very funky fish man. It's just got a big dopey football head with like light bulb eyes hanging off the side of
Yeah.
it. I also really love how like again, like I don't have a ton of experience with Star Wars, like we prefaced at the beginning of the last episode and this one. I do love how quickly Star Wars can vacillate between goofy and cool. I think there's a really respectable mix of dopey and cool shit. This man is on the dopey scale. This is
Yeah,
straight
for
up.
sure.
This is dopey maxing right now.
I mean, I think it's probably a product of like, animatronics at the time were like they didn't have CGI, so there's limitations to what you could like physically make, and to like
Yeah.
put literally light bulbs like painted on the side of a football was how you'd make a Muppet. You know what I mean? So
This guy looks like he's from an old video game, though. Is this from Knights of the Old Republic?
I
This guy
think
could
this,
be like
I
an
believe this is
Xbox
from
goof.
I believe this is from one of the Knights of the Old Republic games. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just like Star Wars has kind of established what their aliens look like. You know what I mean? Where like
Yeah.
Star Trek has four-head aliens, of course, right? Which is
Yes.
all their different alien species are just like they have different ridges on their forehead. They have different like smile creases or whatever on their foreheads. Star Wars has their own distinct look. Like you can see an alien and be like, that looks like it fits in Star Wars more than Star Trek. I feel like.
Yeah, exactly.
So
the Star Trek is exotic crow's feet opposed
Exactly,
to like a full like makeup prosthetic, right?
So they're humanoid. They have amphibian features. So they got long appendages, eyes set at the end of stalks on either side of the head. Culturally, they are profoundly warlike and cannibalistic. That's fun, huh?
Oh.
This little guy, he loves to eat his own people.
He doesn't give cannibal vibes. That's interesting. I think it's just the soft features and the dopey eyes. It's just like, oh, but eats his kids.
Yeah, but so do frogs, right? Like I think that's I think it's just amphibians. Like they're cute.
Oh,
but
yeah, okay.
Killers. Like your axolotls would eat each other and eat you, given the chance.
Yeah. I mean, famously, the second one I got was missing his arm.
Yeah.
Right.
Bitten
His
off
siblings
by
tore it off.
another axolotl. Exactly.
Yeah. True. Okay. Fine. Yeah.
Same with these guys, right?
I concede.
They have a very survival of the fittest, survival of the strongest is maybe a better way to say it, culture. So when the Qua arrive on Lahan, as they had done on many worlds before, they took the Rakata under their wing. So they're going around colonizing. They do seem to be like, I'll go ahead and say it. Cancel me, internet. Good colonizers. Okay.
Okay.
They're like, and I'm sure in the discourse there is plenty of examples of them being bad. We'll see how the Rakata are an example of worse colonizers in just a few moments. But so like the Qua are like raising people up, raising these civilizations up, a la Star Trek, right?
You don't get it. They actually like Christianity and trains. Okay,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
good.
exactly,
Everybody is they're good colonizers.
Yeah, exactly. So they share some technology with them, and they also teach them about the Force, right?
Okay.
What the Qua didn't account for was how the Rakata would use the Force. The Rakata ignored the Qua's teachings on balance between the light and dark sides of the Force and drew only from the dark side.
Okay.
They're like, cool, you got lightning magic and you got what's this other one? Feel good magic? No thanks. We'll stick with the lightning magic.
Yeah, exactly. Like tricking cops who are trying to pull you over magic? I don't think so.
That's it.
Lightning
I
for
eat
me.
the cop when I don't agree with them. All cops are barbecue.
I was trying to think of an ACAB there. Thank you.
We can say ACAB as much as we want when Jamie's not here. Oh no, right? The evil cannibal species we taught to use magic is using magic for evil. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, for cannibal things. Oh no.
Yeah. So they grew ambitious and decided that the universe would be better if they ruled it, the Rakata. A Rakatan named Daritha would formally found what the Rakata call the Infinite Empire. Daritha comes to mean emperor.
Okay.
I assume it's this guy being the first emperor gives the role its name. So every subsequent emperor will be called the Doretha.
Cool.
Of course, the Rakatans immediately begin to covet the Kwa Infinity Gates, right? If you're gonna set about colonizing a whole freaking galaxy, instantaneous travel between 2 points is pretty freaking handy, right?
Yeah.
Any 2 points.
Yeah. You wouldn't need a Pinta, a Nina, or a Santa Maria at all.
No.
Worthless.
Mm-hmm. So when the Kwa realized what they had enabled in the Rakata, they attempted to cut off their students from the gates, right? They're like, okay. We kind of made a mistake teaching the cannibal frog monsters the gift of lightning magic. What do we do about it, right? They said,
you got to research their culture before you teach them lightning magic, just to get like just a vague sense of what they might do with it. It's
all right.
They were eating each other before we gave them magic, dude.
Give them a census. It's census season here in Canada. Give them the census that says like, hey, when was the last time you ate a member of your household? And if it's ever, then you don't give them lightning magic. I think that's fair. Right?
I was a good citizen. I filled out my census the day it came in the mail. I did it right away.
Of course. So they're like, hey, we gotta sink the Santa Maria. We gotta sink the Pinto and the other one. You know him.
Yeah.
You know him. You love him.
Is that what I said?
I think so. So they say we're gonna sink their ships. We're gonna stop them from using the Infinity Gates, right?
Okay.
The Rakata respond by going to war with the Kwa. They're like, nope, you can't cut us off, basically, right? The Kwa throughout all this, so the Kwa have a galactic empire. They're not the only one. They're not the first one. They are like there is like politics in the galaxy, and there are other empires that are present in the galaxy. And the Kwa, it seems like they had lost face in like the galactic political sphere by bringing up the Rakatans. Basically, other people were like, "You did what to the cannibal frogs? You taught them space magic? You taught them lightning magic? What are you doing? You know, like you can't be trusted."
That's fair. I mean, it's like you're way too irresponsible to be trusted with this kind of power. It's kind of what's happening in the world right now as we're recording. There's a different empire. Exactly. There's a different empire that might be stumbling around clumsily right now that we're all kind of like, hang on, what are you doing with all the money in the world? This is crazy.
Exactly. So they quickly realized that the Rakata's forces. They take the fight to Lahan. They say like, we have to shut this down. We have to go to their home world, Lahan, to shut the Rakatans down. Okay. They quickly realized that the Rakata's forces were too much to handle, but they knew that they could do some damage, and they knew what they needed to damage, right? The Kwa destroyed the Infinity Gate on Lahan. They said, we're going to stop you from leaving. We're going to turn you into a not spacefaring species, right? We're going to take away your gift of traveling faster than light. As they're kind of retreating throughout the galaxy, they are systematic in destroying other Infinity Gates along the way. One's nearby Lahan. So they're rippling out, kind of destroying every Infinity Gate they can find. They destroy as many as they could. They retreat to Dathomir, and they end up setting these giant worms to guard, like the dune sandworms, basically, to guard the star temples that they leave behind. So they destroy the gates the star temples, and then leave guardians to be like, guard this so that they can't come and like reverse engineer it, basically.
Okay.
Fun fact, some small number of Kwa would remain on the planet Tython, right, where the Jedi Order would eventually be founded. The surviving Kwa on other planets, including Tython, eventually died out over the following millennia, and the few remaining on Dathomir devolved into a primitive, non-sapient lizard species called the Kui.
Okay.
So they're completely pushed back. They collapse as a civilization under the assault of the Rakatans. I didn't get a picture of it, but they do just like turn into dinosaurs. Basically, they turn back into dinosaurs.
Sick. That's what I want to do. They return to monkey, but
return to dino.
Also, I did look this up here. I did pull up the clip on my end. I was curious what these worms look like. It's called a wuffa worm.
Yeah, a wuffa worm. That's it. Yeah,
a wuffa worm. And Dathomir, I do think you do get to go to. Yeah, you do get to go here in one of the one of the Jedi games, the Souls likes, because I know the goth baddie who joins your crew is a part of the Night Sisters. Okay. So you do go there and fight, I think, undead Darth Maul aliens, whatever his species is. I think happens in that game.
Okay. I don't know what his species is. We'll call him Twi'leks.
Yeah. Everything is human, Twi'lek,
robot,
a Yoda, whatever that is.
Yeah, and a Wookiee.
And then robots.
Wookiee, of course, too.
True.
So the Kwa,
as fame.
Wikipedia fame, exactly. So the Quas' civilization are effectively ended by their encounter with the Rakata, right? Like the Rakata are too vicious, too powerful in their use of the dark side. They destroy the Qua. The Qua are no more. Despite failing to capture the Infinity Gate network, the Rakata had learned enough to create hyperspace-capable ships which use the Force to travel. So they don't have Infinity Gates, which are better than hyperspace travel. Infinity Gates are like instantaneous travel between 2 points. Hyperspace is like you do travel through hyperspace for a while. If you've watched the Star Wars films, there's sections where they're on the Millennium Falcon, just like waiting to exit hyperspace, right?
Yeah.
The other main drawback, or maybe the actual main drawback of their engines, is that they could only travel to locations rich with the Force, because they're like Force engines. They can only travel between 2 points in space, which are rich with the Force. So they need to find planets rich with Force users. They can't just go to Mercury, which famously doesn't have any Force users, right? Or Jupiter, where you go to get more stupider. Where girls go to get more stupider, excuse me. So yeah, that's like the main limitation that's like the main thing holding them back, and why they really want to get the technology of the Infinity Gates, or wanted the technology of the Infinity Gates, because if they could build their own Infinity Gates, they could in theory end up going anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So a Rakata who called himself the Doretha, or like a later Doretha, I should say, sorry. This is just a repeat line from earlier. So Doretha, the first one, names himself emperor, and they begin hunting for force-rich planets, right? If they're going to go about colonizing, now that the Qua are gone, they need to find force-rich planets. And how are they going to do that? Well, they're going to use these little guys called Force Hounds. So Force Hounds are not hounds. I sent you a picture of one. He's a man, or he's a humanoid at least. These are Force-sensitive people from various conquered species who are enslaved and basically like Clockwork Orange just fed dark Force energy into their eyeballs to become these like Force users who are able to, like, throughout the vastness of space, locate like clusters of Force that they can travel to. Because basically, I think it's like to put in the hyperdrive signature, you need to like actually know where you're going, so you need to like put in the calculations and everything, and then it also has to be a Force sensitive place. So they have these people who can like search the universe with their telepathy and find a Force sensitive spot and say put in these coordinates, and then the ships will be able to travel to those coordinates, right?
I do like when good sci-fi inspires itself, because it's very Guild Navigator from Dune sort of thing, right? But Spice and Force are the two things that are interchangeable. Yeah,
and it's like limited to a subset of people, so it's like it's scarce in that sense, right? The ability to just go anywhere and do anything.
We did BattleTech last week too, or whatever order this is coming out in, and like the gravity drives they have there to teleport, like they work in a certain way with certain limitations too, where it's like, if there's too much gravity, you can't land, you have to teleport and then travel from there, if I recall. Yeah. In the inner sphere, which is the entire galaxy, which I've established multiple times. Mm-hmm. Just like this.
So once a target world is identified, the Rakata would arrive in force, enslave as many of the native population as possible, and strip mine the planet's resources. Okay? Force hounds, could never advance beyond their role as slaves, though they were probably like a higher rank of slave, I guess, you know?
Okay.
They were weapons and scouts. They were not members of Rakatan society. If a Force Hound failed or was defeated, their Rakatan master ate them, of course.
Oh.
Despite the risk of catching consumption, the Force Hounds were valuable as weapons as well as trackers. They were used to create items known as Force Sabers. Okay? These are proto lightsabers, which made them and their Rakata masters nigh unmatched warriors. So that picture I sent you, that's not a lightsaber that he has. That is a Force saber that Force.
As a rookie, you could have fooled me.
Yeah, okay? I mean, functionally the same, right? But distinct enough, anyway. But yes, like I
remember the dark saber from the Mandalorian show, which I did not keep up with, but I think you do see it in season 2, which is as far as I got into that.
I vaguely remember seeing it.
Yeah, it looks pointier than a lightsaber. It's got like a point on it. It's like a flat blade instead of like a... Yeah. I imagine a lightsaber is a tube. I think that's just because of the toys that is always like a light up tube.
It's also like probably how they practically did those effects back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Have tubes.
Yeah.
But... So the Rakata also developed technology to induce fear and hatred in Force-sensitive captives, then extract the resulting dark side energy to fuel their warships, to fuel their anything. They got slave batteries is basically what it is, right?
All right.
You make fun of your slave enough, it turns your toaster on. So
Good advice. Thank you.
I'm not saying do it, okay?
I'm just saying how it works.
I'm saying treat your slaves nice. No, wait. I'm saying don't have slaves. What are you
Pay
saying?
them.
Pay them, yeah.
Pay them.
Pay them.
Not enough, and then call them employees. You can get away with it still. It's
yeah,
great.
that's it. Then you're allowed to demean them.
Yeah.
So the emotional suffering of conquered populations is the fuel that is powering the Rakatan conquest, which I thought was like just like a really cool detail where it's like they are becoming, their ability to create more technology and like more warships and everything is dependent on them conquering more, which is like is true in like real world conquest, right? Like we invade other countries for natural resources almost entirely, right? That's almost the full reason why anyone would do it. And I thought it was cool, like the natural resource is the people and their suffering. I think it's like a nice metaphor. Symbolism.
Cool.
So by around 35,000 BBY, which is when our last episode pretty much started, the Infinite Empire had spread across the unknown regions and deep into the Eastern Galaxy. By its zenith, around 30,000 BBY, the Empire encompassed over 500 worlds with a population of roughly 10 billion Rakata and over 1 trillion slaves.
Oh, Jesus.
You say, oh, Jesus? This lands it firmly in the small category for galactic empires. So again, like the galaxy is huge, right? Like what is a trillion people in an entire galaxy? Like it's nothing, right?
True. Yeah.
So they're like, probably they are small in quotes. I saw someone do quotes. Someone from another culture, I will say. I want to say Eastern European, maybe Russian, I don't know. Did air quotes with 3 fingers today. I was like, is that a cultural thing or did she just do that? I don't know. Curious.
That's odd.
It struck me. And sorry for the audio listeners. I caught myself doing it on camera and then had the memory of doing that. You don't know what's going on, but 3-finger air quotes is, I guess, what I'm saying. So yeah, they
do it like this, like pincers, like thumb, index, and middle. It's just gets
Crab
weirder
boats.
the further eastern Europe you go.
yeah. Kamchatka is just binky. So they're probably considered small only due to the hyperspace limitations of their engines, right? Among the Empire's conquests were worlds that would go on to become some of the most significant locations in the Star Wars universe, right? So, and this feels, they did kind of give it just like the Gish Gallop of like, and this place was also under their empire, and this place was. But some notable mentions, the Wookiees of Kashyyyk, right? Had their planet actively reshaped by Rakatan terraforming technology. So do you have an idea of what Kashyyyk looks like in your mind, the Wookiee homeworld?
If the scene with Yoda and the Wookiees from the prequel movie is set there, it's kind of swampy and jungly. It's like a tropical.
Big trees.
It's like a tropical planet to go with. Yeah, big trees to go with the monkey man.
Big trees. So the Wookiees have like their cities are built in the tops of trees. And they use like gangplanks and rope bridges and stuff to connect their city. Like those are their roads basically, right?
Cool.
So the Rakata installed a terraforming computer on the world that manipulated the growth of the planet's Roshir trees. When that computer eventually lost contact with the Empire and later malfunctioned, it caused a runaway acceleration in the growth of those trees, which is why Kashyyyk is covered in enormous ancient forests, basically.
Cool. Okay.
Tatooine was also a Rakatan conquest.
Classic.
At the time,
desert planet.
At the time, it was a lush planet, home to a species called the Kumumga. There is, I didn't include it, and I don't know why I always do this, where I see an interesting fact, I say I'm not going to include it because it's off topic, and then I get to the part in the script, I say I'm going to talk about it anyway, but here we go. It was talking about how like the Kumumga. So the Kumumga are eventually going to become the Gorfas or the Tusken Raiders and the Jawas. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And it was talking about like there is a random little quote in KOTOR 1 or KOTOR 2, which like implies that they're actually humans who were just like kind of changed during the Infinite Empire too. But
okay,
it's like I then read the quote and I was like, that's a bit of a stretch. But so the Rakatans get to Tatooine. It's this lush planet. The Rakatan bombardment of the planet obliterates its surface, transforming it into the desert world recognizable from the films, which finally Explain, like, our famous gripe with Star Wars planets is like single biome planets are silly because
Yes.
they're all describing planets on Earth. But if it was actually, and I think Tatooine, the desert planet, is probably the most referenced one. Because like an ice planet does kind of make sense, right? A planet covered entirely in ice does make some sense.
Well, yeah, just like further away from its star.
Exactly.
If it has any kind of liquid, I mean, even then, I mean, it doesn't even have to have liquid on it. If it has any kind of matter on it whatsoever, the colder it gets, it does eventually freeze, right?
Exactly. But if it was like literally bombarded from space and it had like multiple biomes or whatever, but they were just glassed and turned into a single biome, then like, hey,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
it's justified finally.
You win this round, Star Wars. Okay.
Yeah, that's 1 for Star Wars, 10 million for the lore boys. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Rakata also conquered Coruscant, which is big human, I guess you'd say. I don't know if it's where humans are from originally in this galaxy, but it is like it's a human population center. They enslaved
It's the
humans.
classic sci-fi urban planet.
I believe it's the capital of the Galactic Empire, like the empire in the new movies. But don't quote me on that.
It features heavily in Andor, at least in season 2. Again, I really, really like that show. It does come up there. I think like a lot of the main political movers and shakers are on Coruscant in that show.
Yeah. So they enslaved the human population on Coruscant and expanded to what eventually would become the core worlds. Humans and these aliens called Duros, transported by the Rakata as slave labor, are believed to have inadvertently seeded multiple systems with sentient life across the galaxy. So again, I don't know if this is where humans are from, but it seems like why their humans are so prevalent in the galaxy is because the Rakatans took them from Coruscant and like moved them, spread those slaves throughout the galaxy, basically.
Basically like rats, like on ships that are just like kind of crawling out, escaping, and then breeding out in the woods somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. My favorite place to breed.
Mm-hmm. Of course, naked and alone.
In a bilge. Or in a woods.
So the Star Forge is the like the lasting achievement probably of the Rakatan civilization. It was constructed around 30,000 BBY, 5,000 years before the founding of the Galactic Republic. It was built in orbit around the star Abo in the Lahan system, so in their home system,
Cool.
using slave labor drawn from a host of worlds, and all of those slaves were executed upon the completion of construction, basically.
Okay.
So the Star Forge is an automated shipyard on a scale that had no precedent. It drew matter and energy directly from the nearby star, combined it with evil force magic, and produced warships, battle droids, weapons, and armor in effectively unlimited quantities, right? It's 11 kilometers tall and 28 kilometers across at its widest. Just a fun little fact. Convert that to football fields. Hey, Google, go fuck yourself, then convert that to Google, to football fields. Google ball fields.
Google Ball, for all we know, could just be some fucking Star Wars sport where they play live jizz at halftime, right?
Exactly, yeah. Did you catch the Google Ball game? Boy, those jizz whalers sure did put on a show at halftime. Just throwing around the football heads of like Rakatans. So,
Oh yeah. You could spiral with those eyes. It'd be like a Nerf.
Yeah,
Like a
whistles.
Nerf football with a tail on it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. So the cost of building this thing is obviously significant. It's like the biggest construction ever made at the time, right? The Star Forge is powered by evil magic, like I mentioned, and it begins to like amplify evil magic around it, kind of like dark force being used around it. It is like a torture. It is like a torture chamber used to build warships, basically, right? Again, it's like you torture your slaves enough, and a warship pops out. Is kind of like how it works.
It's a big time evil thing. It's like like cursed from day one.
Exactly. So the scientists of the Rakata do notice that they were getting some feedback, right? And they're like, we're getting all sorts of crazy readings on this. But they're like,
we didn't know this meter showed evil, but this is what the other side of that does. It's off the fucking
like
chart.
hitting the one side, like desperate. But they're like, we can control it, right? We're the evil magic guys. We're the evil magic empire. This should be no freaking problem for a bunch of cool guys like us, right? Over time, the Starforge begins actively corrupting the species that depend on it, the Rakata, right? Compounding the dark side damage already done. to this species, which has been using evil magic on their toasters forever, right? So like these are people already steeped in like the dark side of the Force, and now you have this like in their home system, you have this giant thing like leeching their sun to build warships combined with people suffering. It takes a toll. Okay, nobody ever thinks about the toll on the colonizer, but it's taking its toll on these poor cannibal fish. Okay,
These conquerors.
But it's not going to happen right away. It's not going to happen overnight. As soon as they boot the thing up, that they're all going to turn into more evil monsters, I guess. Right. So in the meantime, they're going to continue their conquests. They're going around. They're conquering a lot of planets. Their technology, which is mostly given to them by the Qua, is more advanced than a lot of what people can defend themselves with, right? Like the one technology that the Qua really denied them was the Infinity Gates, but they got access to a lot of other very advanced technology which the Qua had.
Okay.
But not every species would capitulate to the Rakata without a fight. Around 27,700 BBY, the Infinite Empire found themselves warping to the planet Korriban, where they would have their first contact with a species known as the Sith. But more on that after the break. So the Rakata initially approached the Sith diplomatically, sharing the technology of the holocron, which you'll recognize from the films, which are these force-powered devices capable of stored knowledge and personality imprints as a gesture of goodwill. I believe it's the Obi-Wan Kenobi, we need your help. I believe that is a holocron.
The holocron is also one of the MacGuffins in, again, Jedi Fallen Order. It is in that game, a cube that has the locations of the surviving Jedi saved in it. And I know Darth Vader has his Inquisitors using holocrons to like track people down and execute them.
Okay. So at least in the Legends canon, that's Qua technology. That is like ancient. Those are ancient magic rocks, I guess you could say. If you think about it that way, right?
I'm just having water tonight. Sorry, guys. Had a long week, but...
So I sent you a picture of the Sith. So the Sith are a race. They're not necessarily like an ideology at this point.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're reddish skin. There are like different races of Sith, so not all of them look the same. This seems to be like the dominant race among them. The Sith king at the time when the Rakata arrived, they say, hey, look, we know that we're cannibal fish with a reputation of enslaving planets, but we brought you a yak back, so that's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, check this. It's like it's got the same audio quality as the yak back did in the 90s. Completely bit crushed mono speaker.
You think they got yak backs today? You think I could go out and buy a yak back?
I'm gonna find out for you right now.
Yeah,
Facebook Marketplace, certainly.
Mm-hmm. That's it, Jonno. We're officially paying our video editor in yak backs. I don't know if I had them in the UK, but you're gonna fucking love it, dude.
Yak back 2 for sale on eBay. Etsy? Oh, it's a sticker.
No yak backs. R.I.P.
Yeah. All right. Turns out you're not getting paid, Jonno. Fuck off.
The Sith King at the time, a figure named Adas, who had united the Sith people. He's like the first king, and he's the king of the time. When the Rakata arrive, he sees through the politics of it all quickly enough. Says, we don't need your magic rocks, your yak backs. He recognized that the Rakata are preparing Korriban for conquests, and he leads his people in open rebellion. Okay. They are successful, so they are not conquered by the Rakata. They drive them off of Korriban. Adas, their king, dies in the conflict, but his people survive and held their world. So it's one of the few instances in the Legends continuity where a species successfully resists the Infinite Empire's advance.
Cool.
Korriban's independence from the Rakata and the holocron technology the Sith acquired during this encounter would, however, go on to directly shape the development of the Sith civilization for thousands of years afterwards. I will let you guys guess where it ends up, right? We will talk about the Sith on a future episode. Okay, so crunch at us if you want more Star Wars. I will.
You seem to like it.
I will talk about the Sith. I do like it, so I say crunch at us. Yeah. I'm probably gonna end up doing it. So,
yeah, Ethan's crushing at himself. I also like the way the Sith look, the race that they're like a lot of the aliens we see are very, like I was saying at the beginning, the on the goofy to cool scale, these guys are definitely on the cooler side of things with their kind of like fleshy tentacle mustache and the drip. Downright disrespectful.
Okay,
there's one guy with like a big starched collar in the back. Great.
So I mean, elephant in the room, hut in the room, rancor in the room. I don't know. The elephant in the room is that they do have 2 tentacles on their heads, which does make them Twi'lek, right?
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah. So
sorry, guys. That's the way it should be.
Unfortunately, more Twi'leks here. So if you listen,
it's not canon. We actually can't be wrong. Okay. Disney let us just make this shit up.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly. Yeah. This is what BioWare would have wanted. We're from Montreal, okay? So if you listen to our last Star Wars episode, you know that the Jedi Order survived the Despot War around 25,805 BBY. They repelled the invasion of Tython by the charismatic Twi'lek warlord Hadia. What we didn't talk about yet is what came right after it, right? We did, like, I basically said, like, there was a thing with the Infinite Empire. We're going to gloss over it for now.
Yes.
But obviously the Infinite Empire is going to show up, right?
Yeah.
So about 12 years after Hadia's death, a Rakatan force hound named Zesh was dispatched by his master to locate new worlds strong in the Force. Zesh discovered Tython, but its position in the deep core made it extremely difficult to reach through normal hyperspace. So you'll maybe recall that there was like physical forces at play in the like inner core worlds, which make all sorts of things difficult around it, right? I sent you a picture of what Zesh looks like. Zesh is that letter that he has tattooed on his face. I believe it's all Rakatan slaves are assigned like a letter, and they just get that, or like a marking, and they get that marking tattooed on their face. So their masters presumably don't ever get their slaves mixed up.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
You can only have 26 slaves, though.
Yeah, true. So this is Zesh. He's a slave. He's a force hound, so he's force sensitive.
Is he human, or is he some kind of other alien race that just looks exactly like a guy?
That's a good question. You know what? I'll look it up for you. Zesh, Wikipedia. I have it. I have looked it up recently. Oh, no. And I ended up on the letter. The letter Zesh. Oh, no. Yeah, human male. So he's human.
Okay, cool.
Branded with the Arabesh letter Zesh on his face. Back and arms. Oh, he's got more tattoos even. Oh. Doesn't say where he was born. But came out of the Empire. The Infinite Empire, I guess you could say. And he's eventually told by his master, find planets for us, and he finds this planet Tython, and his master says, find a way to get to Tython, right? So he goes. He gets on a ship, and he heads for Tython. He manages to get there, but he is so evil. He's so dark-pilled that his presence immediately triggers what we call a force storm, right?
Oh, right, yes.
Did talk about it a little bit on the last episode, but Tython is a planet that is very sensitive to big fluctuations in the force. It's a planet that really wants to be in balance between the light side and dark side all the time. This one guy showing up on the planet is evil enough, or I shouldn't say evil enough. He is steeped in enough dark energy that it immediately triggers a force storm as like, we need to restore balance kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
It was also kind of a handy natural warning system for when evil people were around, right? His ship is destroyed in the storm. He survives as the only survivor of the crash on his ship. He's taken into Jedi custody. On his person is, of course, a Force saber also, which probably has an impact on why the Jedi use them in the future, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
that's cool. It's like abducting a guy who has it's like if you it's like if you were a European in this instance here, and you took like a Chinese guy captive in like the 8th century, and you had like gunpowder on him or something.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a gun. You're like, what the hell? And then you could shoot it. You shoot it once. You're like, that's fucking amazing. And you have no idea how to do it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And even when you get good at it, still takes a minute to reload.
Yeah. I mean, better than a sword, man. Take it any day.
Yeah, true. I'll give you that.
But yeah, so the Rakata they're able to track Zesh or his ship or whatever it is. They have the location of Tython now, right? and they're in the business of finding planets with force-sensitive people and conquering said planets. You will maybe recall from our last episode, Titan happens to be like it's a cherry-picked planet of only Force users. There's no non-Force users there. All the non-Force users have been exiled to other planets within the system. And it was literally, there was pilgrimages to Tython throughout the galaxy. Force-sensitive users picked up by these Thoyors, these floating pyramids, which I think, based on no research, are Qua technology also, that the Qua brought them here through whatever means. I'm sure there's something in some comic somewhere that I couldn't find where, because it mentioned specifically that the Qua remained on, like some Qua remained on Tython. So I'm going to guess they like set up this plan to like, if we go extinct and accidentally turn ourselves back into dinosaurs, we want people to understand like the balance and our guiding principles. So let's set the pyramid ships to do this in 10,000 years is my Lore Boys Legends canon, right?
And they called him mad when he made the dinosaur contingency.
Yeah, exactly. Who's laughing
one
now?
Sane dinosaur among them.
So they have the location of Tython, obviously juicy target. The Rakatan commander who had sent Zesh had a specific objective. But it's not even slaves. That's not even primary goal here. Even though these are all Force users, powerful Force users, presumably ones who are well versed in the Force and trained in it. Instead, he hears rumors of an infinity gate on the planet, right? Which we know is there.
It's in the madness chasm or whatever, right?
The chasm of infinity. The poop your pants because you go so crazy chasm, right? Go so crazy you can't hold on to your poop and you poop your pants chasm on Titan.
Instead of going mad in like a poetic way, all of Lovecraft's stories are just like, is indescribable architecture and he pooped his pants.
He saw a statue that made him poop his pants. Ooh. So the Rakata by this period had been gradually losing their connection to the Force. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Lore Boys canon. The Force is all about balance, right? They've been kind of out of balance for a long time, which is making them lose their connection even to the dark side of the Force. Okay.
Okay.
It's this slow decline driven by their own dark side corruption.
Okay.
The
so the Force is kind of self-regulating. That makes sense. It's like the mystical balance in the universe, right? So I buy that.
It's too bad it takes a trillion slaves and like 15,000 years. Like it'd be cool if it course corrected a little quicker. But we're talking galactic timescales, I guess. So who cares, you know? But it feels like they could have their own dinosaur contingency plan. Whoever made the Force, and I'll tell you, there are people who live in the Force, and they're called Celestials, and we'll talk about them on the Force episode, okay?
Okay, cool.
I could have talked about them this episode. I didn't, all right? We could talk about why. Probably could have hedged against this, I think, but...
Yeah, and one day you'll find out what the Lore Boys dinosaur contingency is as well. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
When we're in Lore City, Ohio, and Ethan is doing his rotation as the mayor, and he's just got a briefcase handcuffed to him at all times, the contingency documents are in that briefcase.
Yeah, exactly. It's... I mean, I think we could just share that it's just a briefcase full of smoke that turns you into a dinosaur. Our dinosaur contingency is more dinosaurs. We want to make it happen. So
yes.
Starting with Jamie, of course. Don't worry, lore folks. Yeah. We wouldn't subject you to anything we won't subject Jamie to first. Okay.
We're just rulers of Lore City.
Yeah, exactly. So the Rakata are losing their connection to the Force, right? The Rakatan command, the Doretha and his ensemble, believe the Infinity Gate on Tython can reverse this. They're like, hey,
okay,
whatever the Qua did to the Infinity Gates, we think there's like some technology in there that will help us restore our connection to the Force. I think this is like grasping at straws, and like they want it anyway, and it will ensure their empire in a sense, right? That if they still have access to fast and light travel.
Is there a giant worm on the other end? That's not technology at all.
Are worms technology? By God.
Depends on the level of your civilization, I suppose. Like a horse is technology.
If you've only ever seen rock and you see worm, that's gonna blow your mind, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Like a horse is a vehicle, right? If you've only ever walk in places. So okay, all right. The worm technology.
Worm pilled. That's RFK, right? So
Oh yeah.
they believe that the Infinity Gate can help them out here. And I mean, it's important to remember, like, their toasters are powered by Force, right?
Yeah.
So like the idea of losing their connection to the Force is like they are losing everything. Like at that point,
Untoasted
right?
bread is a sign of an empire in decline.
Yeah, exactly. Did the Romans toast their bread? I don't think they've ever unearthed a single Roman toaster. Just saying. Just saying. Some fucking
insane headline comes out the day before this episode.
Yeah. It's two little babies suckling on a wolf's teat and playing with a toaster. There's the episode art, Peter. Okay.
Yeah.
It writes itself. I swear. It draws itself. I swear to God. So yeah, they're like, hey, they know. I mean, they're grasping at straws, but they need to grasp at straws right now because like everything falls apart if they don't have access to evil lightning magic.
Yeah.
The Infinite Empire's invasion of the Titan system began with a strike on Fury Station, an outpost at the system's edge. From there, Rakatan forces captured both gas giants in the system, Obri and Maur, along with their moons. They used the force world of Skagora as their primary command base. That's all just fun little details. And
the moons were people were like deported to the moons if they had too much or too little force, right? We talked about the last episode.
Titan specifically. So not when I said the moons, it's the gas giants and their moons.
Excuse me. Okay.
Because this is like the entire solar system, right? So the Titan, the invasion of the Titan system.
Okay.
Titan itself was attacked directly by Rakatan forces supported by Flesh Raiders. I'm going to send you a picture of a Flesh Raider because I love these guys. I love them so much. Just speaking of weird fish freaks, right?
Yep. Yeah. He looks like a crab, and a hammerhead shark had a baby.
He looks like a Rakatan that they just like they took his football head and squished it down, right? They squished it down so much it turned into a rugby ball going the other way. You know?
Yes. Yeah, they play with different skull rules in rugby.
Hey,
with the fleshmongers? What do you call them?
Flesh Raiders. Yeah,
Flesh Raider. Okay, yeah. Great.
They're crushing their heads, and the poor Flesh Raiders like, well, this really hurts, and they say, hey, there's no crying in Google Ball, okay? So this is extremely stupid. I'm sorry. I've said some stupid stuff on the show, but that might be it. So
there's no crying in Google Ball is great.
Put it on a t-shirt. What do you say?
Yeah, so the NFL can copyright strike us again.
The NFL and Google.
Yeah.
So the Jedi Order repels the assault. They make it to Titan, but the Jedi Order does manage to repel them.
Good for them.
So just like the Sith, the Jedi also are not conquered by the Rakatans, right?
Okay.
Makes sense. They're powerful dudes.
I'm sensing some main character energy coming out of these two sides here that have beaten the the previous evil empire.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, yeah, spoilers, we also glossed over this, and then the Jedi weren't conquered when I said we're going to skip that part of the story on the last episode, right? But it's not a clean victory, though, right? So the Jedi are forced to make difficult choices during the war that fractures their philosophy of balance, right? They, to fight the Rakata effectively, the Order reverse engineer some Force sabers, which they do end up using alongside their Force katanas, which we talked about last episode. The Rakatan, they also draw heavily on the dark side when they're fighting, which just makes sense. It's lightning magic, right? It's not the trick your cop magic is not what we need right now. We need the lightning magic, right?
We're not talking about speeding tickets here.
Yeah, exactly. So, and tricking cops is objectively good. Just gonna go ahead and say that.
Yes.
All cops are barbecued. So this does change them, right? To some extent. So I think like we didn't talk about it so much last time, but I think like where they end up with like this rise of dark side users and the fracturing of the Jedi and how they end up splitting off and leaving their home planet probably kicked off by like this invasion. Like that was probably like the tipping scale that set their civilization out of balance, was this invasion of like heavy Force side users or dark side users, excuse me. And I think that's like kind of cool that like I like the idea of like it's not even just their inner workings, but just like the presence of too much dark side tips the scale. So like triggering a Force storm, like the one guy showing up and triggering a Force storm, like the idea that just like the presence of evil can, change the minds of men, I think is interesting. So the Jedi recalled the exiled and deeply unstable Dagon Locke. So this is the guy who shit his pants at the bottom of the chasm.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I remember him.
Do you remember he got a vision at the bottom of the chasm? Do you remember what his vision talked about?
No.
An invasion of people wielding swords of fire. So he
Oh.
prophesized the invasion of the Infinite Empire. Basically, he saw them.
Cool.
He saw them coming through the Infinity Gate. He was brought back out of exile. He'd been exiled to the Moon Bogan, right? Australia jail. With Iggy Azalea. Did I get it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, you did. She is the Australian pop star who pops into my head every time you say BBY.
Okay, there you go.
Yes.
So they brought him back out of from the Moon of Bogan. They said, "You saw these people. You know what's coming. We need you to help us." And he serves as like a military commander, which probably why they used the dark side so much during the fights. But his vision had seen exactly this. Like, damn, when you write, you write. And if you'll recall, he also was carving a giant mural of the prophecy he saw, and then also him wielding a force saber. So the Jedi allied with the settled worlds across the Titan system, which this is after the invasion of Hadia, where they were pretty hands off, but they do manage to get combined forces, other planets come to their aid as well. And the Master Rajivari in overall command of the combined forces. Rajivari is the one who, after they sort of get balance back in order, Rajivari is the one who defects and becomes Darkseid and ultimately destroys the Jedi and sends them into exile. So he was also put just the idea of being put in command of these military forces is enough to bring you to the dark side. Just the act of thinking about war enough is enough to doom their civilization, right?
Yeah, if you can use suffering and the dark side to power your empire, then that does make sense. That it's as soon as he gets too much power, too much command, it's just that's the what is it fear breeds hate or whatever Yoda says.
Fear breeds hate, it does.
Yeah. That was a good one. Holy shit.
Thank you. Came out of nowhere. I don't know the last time I tried to do a Yoda voice, but it's still in there from when I was 13, I guess.
Hell yeah, dude.
So the war ends. The invasion of Titan ends when the Rakatan commander is killed. I'm not going to go into it too much, but the Jedi don't kill him. It's betrayal and infighting within the Rakatan ranks, which take out the Rakatan commander. With their commander dead, the Rakatan forces turn on each other and withdraw from the system. The Jedi had won, but again, high cost. We talked about it in our last Star Wars episode. The Jedi do not actually survive contact with the Infinite Empire. Yeah.
I think also the fact that up until this point, the cannibal fish people, cutting off the head of their command, obviously they would just turn on each other. They've been using the tiers of slaves to power their empire this whole time.
Yeah.
They obviously don't trust each other whatsoever.
And then they've always been a survival of the strongest, and it's hey, strongest guy's dead. The power vacuum is just so obvious there. So along with that, they'd failed an invasion before. Surely one failed invasion wouldn't be enough to topple the empire, right? But
no,
just like the invasion, the collapse of the Infinite Empire is not an external enemy. It devours itself in the end.
Yeah. We learned so much from the invasion of Iraq, actually. It was one and done. We'll never do it again.
Exactly. So, it's basically from the invasion of Titan, they have this infighting, their connection to the forces waning, so their ships are failing, so they're kind of retreating back and back to Lahan, and on Lahan, they just continue fighting amongst themselves. And eventually succumb, basically, right? The Starforge, which had fueled Rakatan supremacy for thousands of years, had also been feeding on and amplifying the dark side tendencies of its creators. Constant internal power struggles between Rakatan Predators, which are the name of their commanders, escalates into open civil war across the Empire's territories. Factions vie for dominance while the infrastructure holding the Empire together begin to deteriorate. Then, around 25,200 BBY, COVID. A plague appears. Okay. It spreads rapidly through Rakatan society. It kills billions. Later, historians theorize that the disease was engineered by one of the Empire's slave species because it infected only the Rakata. Not a single other species in the galaxy was affected. Which I love that this is from BioWare.
The Starforge is making bat soup now. We have to stop it.
This is, so I don't know for sure that this piece of the lore is from KOTOR. I think it probably is, but I just love that it's BioWare and it's the genophage from Mass Effect as well, right? Like this
Oh yes,
engineered disease to take out a specific race. They just rinse and repeat it.
I've watched friend of the show Kyle play Knights of the Old Republic or KOTOR, the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and it does look really really cool. I know, like I saw him play early game. You do start with like a metal katana instead of a lightsaber,
I mean,
which is pretty cool.
I had the first one. I doubt I ever beat it, but I do remember really enjoying it. And I remember when I was working the horse shows, I tried to go back and I bought it on my phone. You could they have like an Android version, I guess, like an APK.
Oh, cool.
And I hate phone controls. I can't play games on my phone. I just struggle so much. So I bounced off it. But doing this episode, I was like, man, and Crunch at me in the Discord. Did you have me on Discord or something? But if there's a way to, if there's like a guide to like how to enjoy KOTOR in 2026, and like if there's like a fan upscale version or anything like that, like quality of life mods, send me all that shit because maybe I'll do a playthrough.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, so
you want like the abridged version as well, like just like which side quests to do, just like the least amount of time and get it running smoothly as possible on modern hardware.
I don't know if I want the least amount of time, but I do want the old games like inventory management was also always like the only way to play like the original Final Fantasy now is to you need a couple quality of life mods to like auto battle and like things like that where it's just like. Yeah, random encounters aren't fun. It turns out, you know what I mean, and like grinding random encounters isn't fun. So like, if I were to replay Final Fantasy now, I would want to just like run through and have the auto battler get the experience for me that I need and all that stuff. But, so yeah, the plague itself, that however it was made, it's only theorized that it was made by one of those slave species. It exploits the genetic uniformity the Rakata had developed through millennia of self-selected breeding. Right, so they're inbred. Also, didn't mention it. These are inbred cannibal frogs.
That explains the eyes on the sides of their heads there.
How about,
it's just recessive.
Do you think the NFL would copyright strike us if it was like you, me, and Jamie doing poses and saying our mothers were inbred cannibal frogs? It's a big is that a good T-shirt? I don't know. Would you guys wear that?
At the end.
Just three random men who nobody recognizes on the street.
No.
Our mothers were inbred cannibal frogs on top. I feel like this has got some legs, some frog legs.
Yeah, that's true. It's just like, oh yeah, nice shirt, man. Are those your brothers? Who are these guys?
It would also be our second frog theme shirt, which would maybe be a little weird, right? Because we have big frog.
Oh yeah, we choose a different animal.
We have the JFK Big Frog Come shirt.
Yeah. The greatest president, the greatest picture of a president in history is the source image of that.
For sure. So the plague's secondary effect was worse than its mortality rate. Survivors found that their connection to the Force had been severed entirely. So not only is like as a civilization are they like slowly losing it, it's not as powerful. This is final. You can't smell anymore once you get this COVID, right?
Okay.
So like I said, Rakata technology is force dependent. The hyperdrive, the Starforge, the terraforming machines, they're toasters, right? They're smart fridges.
Where are they going to play Skyrim?
They'll figure it out, I'm sure. Todd will figure it out. Todd's got us, baby. He'll put it on.
Todd Howard is the only guy who can release a thing that can crash your fridge.
He'll release it in worm tech. So losing force sensitivity is the end of everything. This is apocalypse, right? Like it's the exact analog is like if we lost electricity today and electricity just didn't exist anymore, things are bad is all I could say, right?
Yeah.
We take it for granted. It lives in our walls and can kill us. And if it disappeared, we'd miss it.
We have an uneasy truce with electricity.
Mm-hmm. All I can say is it's not the only thing that lives in my walls can kill us and that I would miss if it was gone. So
the mold that makes me crazy as well.
Yeah. Also him. So a species, Cold Nuts Corey, of course, lives in my walls.
Yes.
And could kill me with his cold nuts. Somebody posted Cold Nuts Corey, asking for Cold Nuts Corey lore, I think, in the Discord. And all I could think was like, man, I wish I could remember one fucking detail about that. I was just like, that was something we said on air. I couldn't remember what episode it's from. I was like racking my brain. I was like, what the fuck was Cold Nuts Corey? Did he have an accent? I can't remember, but anyway. It's late. It's 10:09. It's getting late for us here, guys. I hope you understand.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys sticking through our Cold Nuts Corey shenanigans here. He didn't have an accent, surely.
Maybe he's from Eastern Europe. Maybe he's the guy who was doing the three-finger quote marks.
In my mind. So the slave populations across the empire sensed the weakness and acted, right? Humans, Duros, Erglics, Baragwins, Deveronians, and Gossams. I just love that it's like humans and then gobbledygook in the list on Wikipedia. They all rose in coordinated revolts across dozens of worlds. With the Rakata unable to use their technology effectively, the rebellions succeed overwhelmingly, right?
Yeah.
Conquered worlds regained control almost overnight, basically. The Rakata abandoned their empire and retreated to Lahan. There, stripped of their force connection and their empire, the civil war continued on their homeworld. Warlords deployed weapons of mass destruction against each other. The surface of Lahan was shattered into archipelagos, chains of islands surrounded by ocean, where cities had once stood. Most surviving Rakata went underground, where over generations they devolved into tribal barbarism. Before retreating,
turning into mole men now, mole frogs.
Yeah, essentially mole frogs. Back to eating each other in the dark, fellas. Oh well, it was a good run. So before retreating, the Rakata destroyed all records of the Lahan system's location to prevent former slaves from finding and destroying them. Right? They don't want to pay their, what do you call it when people
reparations?
Reparations. Yeah, they don't want to pay their reparations. Yeah. So, Rakatan technology, however, is self-repairing by design. Right? So the star maps, artifacts placed on conquered worlds that collectively charted the path to the Starforge at some time, right? So any Rakatan could find their way home, are destroyed, but they slowly start to repair themselves over the following 20,000 years.
Okay, that's neat.
Which is what eventually leads to the Sith Lord Darth Revan to piece together their location during the Jedi Civil War. Now, spoilers for a 26-year-old game. If you don't want spoilers for Knights of the Old Republic, you play like a Sith Lord with amnesia in the game. So you basically you've been like brainwashed by the Jedi to forget that you were a Sith Lord. And so you're Darth Revan, and you're the one who had found the Starforge for the Sith at some point in the past during the Jedi Civil War. On Lahan itself, the only faction that retained any memory of Rakatan history was a group known as the Elders. They descended from the Empire's original priest caste. They preserved records in the Temple of the Ancients, which is their most significant remaining structure, and maintained a singular goal: destroy the Starforge, which still orbited the system star, inert but intact. So I guess they thought getting rid of this thing would be good. Finally, they're like, hey, the giant evil thing, the giant evil tick we built to feed off our sun and corrupt all our minds was a bad idea. Let's tear it all down. Huh?
The thing that just pumps lead paint into all of our brains directly. It's just it's driving us crazy.
Exactly. Of course, all the technology that would enable them to get to it, to enter it, to interface with it at all is force powered. So none of them can do anything about it. They're like all they have is a dream, right?
But you can in Knights of the Old Republic now, because like Darth Revan has force powers. Like the force is returning to people; they're getting force sensitive again, right?
Yeah. So around 3.9, it's not people. Like every other race still has force powers. It's just the Rakatans. They're the only ones who lost their force connection. Yeah. So around 3959 BBY, the Sith Lord Darth Revan tracked down the star maps scattered across the conquered Rakatan worlds and used their combined data to locate Lahan. He visits the planet twice. First as the Sith Lord, who lied to the surviving Elder Rakata, claiming he would destroy the Starforge while actually planning to use it to build a Sith fleet. And later, after being captured by the Jedi and having his memories altered, as a redeemed Jedi who genuinely does destroy it. That's the good ending. It is a game you can choose your ending, right? It's a BioWare game, so it's got a BioWare ending where you can choose to destroy the Starforge, or you can choose to be a Sith Lord who rebuilds like a Sith fleet, a Sith armada using the Starforge. Of course, like most of those games, the canon ending is the good ending, right? So the Starforge is destroyed by a Republic fleet in 3956 BBY. The Lahan system was subsequently declared a protected historical site and quarantined by the Republic. The Republic, at the urging of the Jedi, chose to suppress public knowledge of the Rakata entirely, concerned that knowledge of an ancient civilization that had once enslaved the core worlds would cause panic or inspire opportunists to seek out Rakatan technology. And the Rakata themselves had gone extinct on the Han by approximately 1,000 BBY, confirmed when Darth Bane visited the planet and found only wreckage and the debris ring formed by the destroyed Starforge. Some small populations of Rakata may have survived in other systems, but as a civilization, they are gone. And that's it. That's our episode on the Infinite Empire. Not so infinite after all, is all I can say. Right?
How odd.
What about
They
this?
seemed a little overconfident there, didn't they?
Yeah. A little bolt to call yourself the Infinite Empire.
Well, like all those guys in the trenches calling it World War One.
Yeah,
interesting.
Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, consider leaving us a rating or review on your podcast app of choice. We do have a few quick plugs that we want to get to. We appreciate you sticking around to hear them out. Peter, you want to talk about your comic or Instagram?
Yeah, at Laura's Podcast on Instagram, and my comic, The Black Frontier, is available on Amazon, digitally and physically. They're printed to order locally, from what I can see, so if you want to kick me a couple of bucks. Thank you to everybody who continues to buy it. I got another royalty check this week, so really glad that's a long tail on that thing. It's been up for over a year. Crazy. Very grateful. Thank you so much.
Part 2 coming out on Valentine's Day, so...
yeah, exactly. That came out this year on Valentine's Day, 2026. It did not. Don't look for it.
Of course, there's Lowboy James. If you want to see one of our faces outside of YouTube, I think he also streams on Twitch now, or on YouTube now. Excuse me. I don't remember his. It's probably Lowboy James, right?
Yeah.
Look it up. You tell me.
It's Lowboy James. He also streams on Kick, where he's going to teach you how to lower women's self-esteem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which may be a thing I already said, because it is just stuck in my head.
And of course, if you want to support the show, we did mention earlier, patreon.com/theloreboys. There's a link in the description below. You just tell your friends or family about the show if you enjoy it. If you know a Star Wars fan who drives a forklift, like this has got to be engineer made for them, right? We used all the dark magic in the world to make this podcast for them. We really do appreciate all our patrons. Thanks so much to you guys for continuing to be. For any of the YouTube enjoyers, I got a pen and a pencil in my hand, okay? I'm always fidgeting. You guys be the ones to tell me what I should hold next on a future episode. And if you don't trust
$9 patron tier to tell Ethan what to play with, like poke himself in the face with on
poke
camera.
I just poke my cheeks for anyone who's just listening. You can just whatever you picture me as, because it's not what I look like, as we all know from podcasts that you listen to, and then you try and transition to watching them on audio. You're like, I can't watch this. They don't look the way that they're supposed to look. No. Whatever I look like in your mind, picture me poking myself in the cheek with the butt of a pen, I think is fair to say. If you don't trust Patreon, we do have a service which we always offered, Lore Boys Prime. And this week, of course, we are gathering a bunch of evil magic to torture Jamie with. To experiment on Jamie with. Yeah.
Practice.
Conduct some preliminary tests on with Jamie. Practice, sure. So we need both your negative thoughts, and then we also need your ideas for things to experiment on Jamie with. Because the truth is, we don't really have anything in the barrel right now. But we're just we're looking for ideas. We know we want to experiment on Jamie. That much. That's a guarantee. All right. Yeah. Two things are inevitable, right? Taxes, experimenting on Jamie. So how? I asked Google. And Google says, don't experiment on your friends. I'm a stupid chatbot. And I say, fuck you, Google. And then we get in a big fight. But you guys are cool, right? You guys will tell me how to experiment on Jamie. So please do.
I keep testing car batteries on him, and they all have the same result. He just gets electrocuted.
Mm-hmm.
It just lives in the walls and threatens to kill us all day.
So strange.
Cold nut Corey.
Cold nut Corey and my electricity. I think that would constitute a Lore Boys.
Lore Boys.
Out.